So here are the timestamps for the individual varieties that I'm updating on this video. I will also be linking or putting the links below for the individual videos that I've already posted for each of those. Hi there, welcome to Down and Dirty Plants. This video will be an update of some of the propagations that I've done. What you're seeing here are some Peperomia frost that I propagated from the mother plant. The mother plant actually is now getting smaller than some of these others that I propagated. But in any case, this is the one I'd like to start with. This is the tray that I use to propagate a lot, not entirely, but I had started these on the propagation video that I posted about leaf propagating Peperomia, and here are some Russos that are doing really well. I have some more frost. The red ripple or the ruby ripple is not really doing a lot, but I'll keep letting her sit here for a bit and see what she does. What's curious about this one actually came up really quite quickly, and then the others, the surrounding leaves, are taking their time. But as you can see, they are starting to take off. I have a little tiny Russo there. These are actually a new Peperomia that I got. I tried a new type of propagating where you don't actually propagate from the whole leaf. I saw that you can actually cut a leaf in half and then put the top half in. Where do I have that one? Here, like this one. And it should propagate from here, but you can also put the bottom half. And as you can see, it's working. This is my Piccolo Banda, which I love. It's such a sweet little Peperomia. I have some others. These are new propagations. Some more Ruby Ripple, some more Piccolo Banda, Russos, more Frost, and then these are some Peperomia that I got too. One of these is a Variegata, and this I believe is the Glabella, which is a sweet little one too with tiny leaves. This actually is from a propagation that I did after the plant that I had shipped from Etsy actually had some leaves drop off, and I just put those in soil, and now it's such a nice full plant. And then there's a Russo in the back that also is a propagation. This plant, the next video that I posted was the Sansevieria, and this is a little grouping of some of the pieces that I put into soil, and you can see this has now has two. So I had put in a few of the leaf pieces and they've grown, and this one as well. This light is causing issues here. It's a little untidy looking right now, only because you can still see the leaves, the leaf parts that I used to propagate from. But as these other leaves get taller and taller, you can see they're already doing really well. They'll just get taller and taller. So that one's doing really well. I've gifted a lot of plants as well, but I have a couple of other, this is sort of, as I would repot them, I would just put the ones that hadn't come up yet and rooted, I'd put them back in here. And you can see this one definitely has roots, but doesn't have a baby yet. And this one, though, recently has, and if you, there you go, you can see that. So once those get a bit bigger, I will put those in their own pots, or maybe add them to an existing pot. Just need to put this one back in the soil. So the Sansevieria, or mother-in-law tongue, are doing well. The other variety were the aloes. That's correct. Okay, so I have a whole bag. In my propagation video, I showed how you can start them actually in a bag. And this bag is doing really well. In fact, I really need to get these potted. You can see the roots in here are going crazy. I do have some others, though, that I'd like to show you. So I had a whole bunch, well, I do still have a lot of individual aloe plants. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4. And I decided rather than just having them in individual pots with one long stalk, I put them all together. And they're really liking this. I think they like this level of light. It gets some direct light in the early morning, but not a lot. And I'll probably add the 2 that I just showed previous to this pot as well. So I've actually stopped propagating avocados, the pits, because I have so many now, but I like how this looks. It's a really nice, it's a full plant when you put a lot together. The next plant I'd like to update are the Begonia Rex. And if you saw that propagation video, one of the things I did was I tried propagating a lot of different ways. This one here, I used the center piece. I cut out a circular piece and put that petiole in the soil. And all 3 of these, 4 actually, I think I had 4, have come up, a couple of different varieties. But you can see they're doing really well. I do actually need to also repot these, get them into their own pots. This one was interesting. After I cut the circular piece out from here, you have the remaining leaf part, and you can actually put that in soil. And what you can see here is the failed attempt to get that to root for me. But this one you can see has, and this is really cool because these are the confetti pieces, where you basically cut a leaf into little bits, just as long as they have one main vein in them. And you can see they didn't take off very quickly, but it looks like almost all of the little bits in there. See if I can get a little closer and you can see them all. And I have one other container of those in here, and you can see these are doing really well. So I really got all of them to propagate, all of the methods, some more successfully than others. These, I can't even remember how I started these, but, oh, you know what this was? This was the same one I just got rid of over here, where I had the leftover sort of frill from the begonia leaf that I put in here, and it came up right away. And this one I'm not sure, but this was definitely from one of the, the frilly part that's left over. So the begonias are doing well. I have a couple over by my sink I'll show you as well. Actually, just one, but I like to keep it here because I really do need to keep them watered a lot. The next type of plant that I posted a video about propagating is the Tradescantia, and these are actually 2 that I started propagating on the video that I posted, and you can see how well they're doing. This one I like because this little tiny one was the piece of the stalk that did not have an end on it. It was like a midsection piece. All of these others, I like to put them in soil because they have such a pretty, the tips of them are so pretty. But as you can see, this one worked just fine, and now it's actually developing its own. So those worked out really well. I don't believe I have any up there. I've given quite a few of those that I propagated away. But this one was also from propagation that I potted on the video in one of these blue pots. And then this is another Sabrina that I potted that's also doing really well. And oh, there's one more across the way here. Okay, this is the one that I actually was bald on top, and I put some rooted cuttings in the top, and you can see how full it is. And this actually would be a good piece to propagate again. But in any case, so I have the Tradescantias are doing really well. They're such an easy one to propagate. Okay, finally, I wanted to just update. This is the Mican that the Philodendron Micans that I potted after I had cuttings root. So it's still little. It's, it'll take off eventually, but it does have new growth, which is always a good thing to see. And once it starts doing that, actually, that's a good sign that you can back off on the watering. So I haven't been keeping this soil quite as moist anymore. But that's it. Those are the propagation updates.